What's up, people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Desmond Z. If this is the first time that you've ever seen me. So, I'm here today. I have a message. I have a message for you. If you are not new here, because there are quite a few of you that are new, welcome. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you. But if you are not new here, then you already know. You know I have a thing for audiobooks. I hold them close to my heart. Where my heart at? Where my heart? I'm sorry. I have a thing for audiobooks. I feel like everybody should give audiobooks a try. I talked to quite a few people and they'll tell me that, oh, I tried, but I just can't get into them, or I can't pay attention. I always end up drifting off. All you need is that one. You need that one that's gonna hook you. You need that one that's gonna bring you in and hook you, and you'll never look back. You will never look back. I'm here today. I brought you some books that I think are best consumed in audio form. You can either listen to it or you can read and listen, because that's one of my favorite ways. That is one of my favorite ways to read. Listening to the audio version while reading the physical. Nothing beats it. Nothing. So, without any further ado, let's just get right into it. This is a new release, and I was waiting for this. That video that I posted, it's like that video that I posted last December about my 2023 anticipated releases. That's how you know this year is going by fast, because they've been coming lately. They've been coming. Y'all know how much I love Razor Blade Tears. That sealed the deal for me with S.A. Cosby. He will forever be famous simply because he wrote Razor Blade Tears. But this is his latest novel. It was just released. It's called All the Sinners Bleed, and it is about a man named Titus, who is a former FBI agent, and he now is back home in his small town in Sharon, Virginia. And he came here, he's living with his dad, taking care of his dad. His dad was sick, blase, blase, blase. And in this small town, we all know, small town America, they still, if you step into them, they feel like it's the 1940s, 1950s. We're chasing a serial killer in this book. It is a crime, like thriller book, and we are chasing a serial killer in this book. And what starts it off is that there is a school shooting. Now, I know living in America, just living in this world, that can be triggers for a lot of people. I would say don't worry too much, because it doesn't get like extremely graphic, and we don't stick around on that scene for too long. It's just like what starts off the whole, chase of the serial killer. So this guy goes into the school, he kills a teacher, and we're trying to figure out why did he decide to shoot this teacher. And there is somebody else still out there who may have been helping them, and this is the person that we're after. I gave this book 4.5 stars. It's not a 5-star read for me. There are some things where I was just kind of like, specifically towards the end, where I feel like, okay, let's wrap it up, essay. Let's wrap it up, because we've done enough now. And it was just like, we're still like this, it got a bit redundant trying to find this serial killer. But this is still an amazing read, and I highly recommend listening to it in audio form, because S.A. has used the same narrator for all of his books. Adam Lazaire, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Adam Lazaire White. Amazing. The voices that he does, they go perfectly with the type of characters that S.A. writes, and I would highly recommend listening to the audio version. Listen and read. Just listen and read. Listen and read at the same time. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. This is a novella. It is only like 150 something pages. It's called Crimes of Passion. It's about two podcast hosts who host true crime podcasts. Now, we all know how I feel about the whole true crime genre and how like weird it is, but what I do appreciate this author doing is that it touches on the bad side, the dark side of the whole true crime genre, and how people treat these victims and their families as just like entertainment and pure fodder, and don't actually stop and say, hey, these are real people behind these stories who are hurting and who have been killed, who are missing, like all of that. There are layers to these stories, and it's not just for, ooh, oh my god, a chilling, thrilling story. So I do like the fact that the author went into detail about that. And who we have in this book, these two main characters, they host these true crime podcasts, but they are on opposite ends. One of them is more serious, and he's like, yeah, hello, hi, my name is da-da-da-da-da, and I'm going to give you the news, and this is what's happening in the world. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then you have another host who still talks about the seriousness of these things, but he does interject like comedy and entertainment into his. Kind of like how I would talk about a book. I would talk about a book, but I just talk to it like I just talk to y'all how I would talk to anybody else, a friend of mine, and giving you my thoughts and my feelings. And sometimes, I can get a little dramatic, I get a little, get a little crazy. The audio book for this was an entire production. We have multiple people narrating. We got a full cast. They had sound effects of like an audience, people walking in and out of the studio. You could tell when someone was picking up and putting down a phone. It was an entire production. It was like, I need this to be a full novel. I need this. This should have been a full novel. I would have ate this up. I would have ate it up. Like, please, dear author of this book, please, Jack Corbin, if you're listening to me, make this a full novel. Make it a full novel. The one and only. Mariah Carey. Mariah, no middle name, Carey. If you're not aware, I am a huge Mariah Carey fan. I'm an amazing vocalist, an amazing songwriter, like top tier talent. I'm just out of this world. Whatever whatever preconceived notion that you have about Mariah Carey, throw it out the window. I promise. The running joke about she only comes around during Christmas, with the all I want for Christmas is you is dead. Throw it out the window. We already know this is an iconic woman who's wrote amazing songs. Catalog it's untouchable. All the whole diva thing, all that, throw it out the window. She has an amazing sense of humor. The shit that she's been through, like her story, it floored me. I read/listened to this back when it first came out. I believe it was 2021 when she released this, right? It was early 2021. Yeah. In audio form, it is the absolute best. She is talking, cracking jokes. She is singing. And I love the fact that it's not just a linear story. She doesn't go just, I was born on this day, and then I got my record deal, and I been through some shit, and I lost my husband, and then I got remarried, and I had kids. No, it's just, she jumps back and forth and all around town, and it's just the way she told the story and the way it all came together. I promise you, whether you are a fan of Mariah Carey or not, this is one of those books. If you love a good story, definitely listen to the audio version of this. Amazing. This is one of those books that I don't think I actually talk about a lot. The Taking of Jake Livingston. I read this book last October. I think I did, yeah, because I think I read it around Halloween, and this is like a horror. It's not like, ooh, scary. And it's about this 16-year-old kid named Jake Livingston. He lives in a working class, diverse neighborhood, and is a far cry from the world of St. Clair Prep, where he is one of the only black students constantly at the mercy of racist teachers and peers who don't understand him. And also, Jake is a medium. And he sees like ghosts or whatever all the time. They're like always around him. Like they're living their last moments on a loop, I believe is what it is. Yeah, they're stuck in their death loops as they relive their deaths over and over again. But they rarely interact with people, and they don't bother him or whatever. He just he sees them. He's aware of them until this one gets out of line. It's out of pocket. It ain't sticking to the status quo. It got a plan. It got an agenda. So this ghost is actually the ghost of a kid named Sawyer, who was a shooter in a school shooter. I know, another school shooter. My God. But this ghost actually took the lives of some of his fellow students. Jake's next door neighbor was a survivor of that shooting. He ends up dead, and what's written on his walls is this killer's name, and then that's when things start to take off. It was really, even though Jake is the main character and the person who voices him does a really good job, what really sold the audiobook for this was the voice of Sawyer. He did an amazing, like, southern, like tortured soul voice, and it was amazing. Like both actors, voice actors, did a good job, but that Sawyer character really, like, that voice sold it. You know I had to do it. You know I had to do it. You know I had to. I could not talk about audiobooks and not talk about Anxious People. This was the first book that I ever read by Frederick Bachman, and it will forever hold a place in my heart. I love this book, and when I talk about how much I love this book, I am talking about how much I love it because of the audio. The book is good itself, like the writing, the humor, the heartwarming story, it's good. Frederick's writing is always going to be, like, it's always going to do it for me. The audio version, I feel like sometimes when I talk about books, or people in general, when they talk about books and they've listened to the audio version, they've had a different experience than those who just read it. And I'm not saying it's a better experience, but it's a different experience when people who can do it right bring these stories alive. And it is subjective, because I might say, oh, this audiobook was amazing. I think these people did an amazing job with these voices. And you listen to them, you be like, I hated that person's voice. It just didn't work for me. Because that can happen. But give these a try. I think Marin Ireland, I think it's her name, Marin Ireland, is the voice actor for pretty much all of Frederick's books, except for what's that one? My. What's the name of that damn book? It's my least favorite book. It's probably why I can't think of the name of it. My grandmother told me to tell you, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's like my least favorite Frederick book. I think she did all the ones except for that one. But there is a character in here. There is a character, the real estate agent. I know y'all are not getting the correct experience based off what Marin does with the real estate agent's voice alone, because she has like this little saying that she does, this character, in the book. And if you're not listening to the audio version, you don't get the delivery. You don't get the delivery. I'm telling you, it's a different experience. Give it a try. Give it a try. like you just gotta. The audio version is the only way. Is the only way to consume this. This book was a production. It was, I didn't know that I could love a book, love a character so much. Like, so much life that is in less than 200 pages. How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water was a 5-star read for me, and I will forever recommend this to any and everybody who will listen to me talk about it. I promise you. Listen to the audio version of this, and if you are not an audiobook person, I'm telling you, read along with it. Maybe that will help you. This book, I've talked about it before. I can just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on until I make you listen to it, because you need to. Sky Falling, I've talked about this before. I've said the humor, anytime I talk about this book, I say the same thing. The humor in this is kind of corny, kind of like, but it's supposed to be that way. At least I think it's supposed to be. It comes off like an older auntie who, her sense of humor is kind of dated, but when she does it, it's funny because of who she is. That's how this book reads. And Bonnie Turpin reads the audiobook for this, and we love Bonnie Turpin. Bonnie Turpin is one of the most amazing audiobook narrators in the world. We adore her. We love her. It's Bonnie Turpin, Adam Lazier White, Julia Whalen. Like, when it comes to those, like, they can do no wrong. They can do no wrong. Even if a book is bad, it's probably not as bad if you listen to the audio version of them. That's probably the only thing saving it. Now, audiobooks don't always work. They don't always work, and I'm here. I understand that. Just like I said earlier, I may think this book is amazing in audio form, and you listen to it, and the audio, like the narrator, just doesn't work for you for some reason. I've had books like that. I've had books like that, and that is no shade to the narrator. I'm sure they're lovely people, amazing, da 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 da. Because recently I had one, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I cannot. Sing and Buried Sing. I have never read anything by this author, and this was going to be the first book. This is the first book that I'm going to read by them. And I tried to listen to it in audio form. It's because of one voice actor, Rutina Wesley. Love her down. Love her down. She was in True Blood. She's in Queen Sugar. This is no shade to Rutina. Lovely woman. Good actress. Like, just love her down. But the way she was voicing this character, you'd have thought we was on the Quiet Storm. She was whispering in my ear. She was trying to talk out sexy, and I was like, Rutina, girl, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's like, I have no idea which part is hers or not. I'm just gonna choose something random, and she just be like, before my going to jail, he installed the envelope in the bottom of my car. He elevated the car on a jack and crawled underneath with his welding tools. And he cut what looked like to be a perfect square in the floor of the car. Then inserted another piece of metal with a hinge. Fixed the hinge, and then welded the bottom of the car back together. Like, girl, why the fuck are you talking like you trying to get me in the bed? Why are you talking like you trying to get me to pop it open or something? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Why are we talking like this, Rutina? Why are we talking like this, Rutina? I don't understand. Like, it's like you can tell sometimes when the voice narrator is an actual actor or actress on screen, because it's like sometimes it does not translate, and like whatever you was thinking in that studio, it was not working for us verbally. And maybe if we had a visual, it would have worked. I don't know, but it was not working. And I can hear the, like, when somebody is talking so low, you can hear the in their voice, like the lips and the tongue. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I had to get up out of there. I had to go. 2 other books that did not work for me in audio form. 7 Days in June. The people love this. The people love this. The people love this. The people love this. They ranted and they raved. They ranted and they raved. And I got it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? I've talked about how I did not enjoy 7 Days in June before, but I was like, I feel like I should have really liked this. And I feel like I was a bit too harsh on this book, maybe. And so I bought the physical version like earlier this year. Or was that late last year? I think it was earlier this year. I bought the physical version because I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. Again, but in physical form. Because I got this book in audio form. And I got into this book. I got like 2 or 3 chapters in, and I had to go. I had to get up out of here too. The same person who narrates this book narrates this book. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this lady voice just don't do it for me. Maybe it's something about her voice that just don't work for me. And no shade, like I said, no shade to that lady. She could be a wonderful. She could be a wonderful person, but for whatever reason, her and the characters she read for, they don't mix for me. They don't mix. They don't connect. They not working for me. There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. It don't connect. It's not latching on. It's not working for me. So I was like, you know what? That's when I said, maybe that's why this didn't work for me. I should also mention The Weight of Blood. I talked about that book a lot too, by Tiffany D. Jackson. Get the audio for this. Get the audio for this. It's a remake of Carrie, a retelling of Carrie, and then there's like a podcast in here as featured in this book as well. Some characters that host a podcast, and it's like a whole production. It's like, it's unmatched. Those are the books that I would highly recommend you trying in audio form. It elevates the book. It elevates it. That's what a good audiobook is supposed to do. Obviously, a novel is supposed to be able to stand on its own, because we haven't always had audiobooks. A good novel is supposed to be able to stand on its own in physical form. And also, now that we have audiobooks, they help people who cannot physically read a book. And this is obviously something that can help them, and it helps all of us, because it elevates the book. it elevates it. So let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books, or if you have a book that you've listened to in audio form and you feel like it just elevated. It elevated the story and it's unmatched for you. That's all I have for you in this one. That's all I have for you in this video. Thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. What are you waiting for? And I'll see you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.